Hundreds of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel have also been released. President Trump is now in Egypt for that summit with world leaders, 20 of them on Gaza's future.
To talk more about, there's a lot. To talk more about that future and what comes next, we're joined by USC Professor of Political Science and International Relations, Douglas Becker. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
So President Trump this morning said he's the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House. Can you talk about what he potentially means by that and and if this seems to be true with this latest development and what's happened this morning?
Well, make no mistake, this is a great day for Israel. It is it's something that I think we've all been looking forward to. He's not the only president that's been able to have these breakthroughs. I think Jimmy Carter and the Camp David Accords bringing peace between Israel and the first of its neighbors, and Bill Clinton with the Oslo Accords, I think both played some pretty important roles. That being said, Donald Trump is incredibly popular in Israel. They have embraced him, quite a lot, and I think there's a lot of Israelis that probably would agree with that statement.
Yeah, I mean, he got a standing ovation, a lot of cheers there. President Trump, he is calling this a historic dawn of a new Middle East. Can you talk about what you think that means? Because, I mean, he brought up Russia, Ukraine, Iran, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, this should be celebrated. This agreement, the ceasefire is incredibly important. The president does have a tendency, however, to use a football term, to spike the football upon every gain. This is beginning a peace process. Now, the wonderful thing is it's brought something that the region hasn't had in an awfully long time, certainly not since 2000 and the failure of the peace negotiations there. And that's some hope that we might eventually end this conflict. I wouldn't declare it over. This is the first stages of peace negotiations and of a peace deal. And even his proposal has not been agreed upon by all of the actors. But is it a new dawn? It's an opportunity for a new dawn.
Right.
And
I think they've been very, very careful to say that this is stage one. We keep hearing stage one of this long plan. Right. You do see so many of these emotional scenes of the hostages being released. You have Palestinian prisoners meeting with relatives. How do you think these images in stage one will end up kind of playing out?
Well, again, I think it's building some hope. And I think that's incredibly positive. And these emotional responses are they're wonderful to see families reunited. This has been far too long. These hostages have been held. I think it hopefully is building momentum so that some incredibly difficult negotiations that the parties will face going forward, that there's going to be some momentum pushing them, that the leaders are being responsive to expectations of their populations. I think it's, for the first time in a long time, I think populations are starting to think it might be possible to improve relations, and might be possible for a ceasefire to hold. Let's hope that pressure compels political actors to make some difficult choices.
Right, and that momentum you talked about. So what does the future then look like in the short term for this region? We saw all those aid trucks being allowed into Gaza. So just giving them those supplies, those desperate needed supplies.
The first thing that this region has to do is to dig out of the rubble, to rebuild. There's been so much destruction in Gaza that the first stages are going to be literally, recovering bodies. In fact, some of the hostages, weren't able to be returned because they've been buried. I think that's a symbol for what needs to happen within Gaza. The aid needs to flow. Populations at risk, populations that are food insecure, are going to need to be fed. So the immediate term is trying to provide humanitarian assistance to the people of Gaza who've been absolutely devastated by this war. And I'm hopeful again because the aid is flowing. That's the first step.
Yeah, hopeful.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate you, Douglas Becker with USC. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.